You're so sweet. Do you ever find that you just go way too long between wash days, that you just can't seem to find the time or the motivation to wash your hair? That you go until your hair is greasy and frizzy and it just, your scalp is just so itchy, it feels like it's on fire. Now, if this sounds anything like you, this video is right up your alley. Today, I'm going to be talking about the wash now, style later technique. This term was coined by Fit Curly Mom. The idea is a very simple one. You wash your hair now and you style it later. Now, when I first started my healthy hair journey, my thoughts on this was, why would you want to do this? This is just adding time to your wash routine, right? It's making it so that you have to dry your hair twice. Why would you want to do this? There are a few reasons that you might want to consider using this technique. One is that you're just a very busy person. You're the kind of person that you have very little time and you just can't dedicate an hour or more to washing and styling your hair at once. People who are just really busy in their lives, maybe you want to style your hair right before you go to work, but you don't want to dedicate all that time to washing it, styling it, and drying it before work. Maybe you're just a busy mom who doesn't have time to do it all at once except for when your kids are taking naps, or maybe when they're going to sleep. Now, another reason this might be a good technique for you is if you're the kind of person that just struggles a little bit with anxiety or stress. Maybe you even just struggle to convince yourself to wash your hair. And as each day goes on that you find that you haven't washed your hair, the stress and the anxiety build. And it makes it harder and harder to find the motivation to wash your hair and then style it, and then all this long process. And the anxiety just creeps up and up and up. And so this is gonna give you a way to reframe this process. You can reframe it in such a way that you can look at it as, I'm just washing my hair right now. I will style my hair tomorrow. Or if it's easier for you, just saying, I will style my hair at some point in the future. Whichever way works best for you to phrase it in your mind and frame it in your mind to make it less anxiety inducing. And even if you do never end up styling it, if you just end up washing it, at least you've now washed your hair. It makes this process just a little less stressful. And the reason I really suggest that people at least do this occasionally is that a lot of us, once we start this journey towards healthy hair, whether it's the curly girl method or a modified version of it, we start putting products in our hair and we never go back because our hair looks so good. But sometimes it can be really hard to tell what your hair needs when you don't know what it looks like without product in it. We need to know what our hair looks like naked. We need to know what it looks like naked so that we know what it needs. So this also gives you time doing this wash now, style later to evaluate your hair after you've washed it, but before you put anything in it, so you can know what it needs. Now, that being said, when she's down for bed, I will go ahead and start this process. Because again, this is part of the reason for doing this, is it gives us time when our little ones are sleeping. So when I put her down for bed tonight, I'll hop in the shower. I'm not really gonna show the shower process because, to be honest, it's the same exact way you would wash your hair normally, just making sure you cleanse your scalp. So I will hop back on after I'm out of the shower to go over this process and any techniques or tricks that I think you need to know to make this successful. Hello to all my wonderful wavies and my curly and coily coterie. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Lena and welcome to my bathroom. Yes, let's get started. All right, so I am freshly out of the shower now. My hair has been washed and I have detangled it with my conditioner, which is a very important step. Now, if you're one of those people that are looking to this video because you are struggling with anxiety around your hair, you could just stop here. You could just follow the next step only and then just stop. Don't feel like you have to continue on this. Just go as far as you are comfortable with. Even this far, you could just stop here. You washed your hair, you've conditioned it. That is enough. But if you're here because you are busy and you just have enough time now at this point, maybe you're like me and your daughter's down for bed, then this is what I would suggest. So at this point, all I've done with my hair after getting out of the shower was wring just a little bit of water out of it so it wasn't absolutely sopping wet. I would still suggest going in with a microfiber towel or a t-shirt at this point and just scrunching a little bit more water out of it, just because this is going to help it dry faster. Now, do whatever's comfortable for you, wring it out, or I do still kind of like to scrunch. We will still get some curl definition out of this because that is our natural hair texture. It's just going to be a little frizzier and a little less defined. And the more water we get out at this point, the quicker the process is going to go. So just go until you're comfortable and then stop. One thing I will say is if you are not 100% sure you're going to have the time to style tomorrow, I would suggest putting a leave-in conditioner in your hair like this As I Am leave-in conditioner. It's going to help give your hair a little bit of moisture and a little bit of protection just to keep your hair healthy. But if you are planning on styling the following morning, this is not completely necessary. Now, at this point, you could air dry your hair. It really just depends on how much time you have. You could even put root clips in just to give it some volume if you're not sure that you're going to continue with your styling the next day. But if you don't want to air dry, if you're a little busy, you can go in with a blow dryer and you can blow dry your hair the rest of the way. And I would just use this in the same way that you normally use a diffuser. One thing I do want to know is because we don't have any product in our hair to protect it, just really make sure you're not using a really hot temperature. We want to leave this on a lower setting. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry my hair at least most of the way because it is getting kind of late. And I will be back to show you what my naked hair looks like. So this is what my hair looks like naturally. This is what it looks like with no product, and I follow pretty much the same routine other than the lack of product. So I just wanted to come on really quick and mention at this point, my hair is most of the way dry. I have a few hours before bed, so I'm gonna let it dry the rest of the way. But you can see that I do still have a lot of definition. There is still shine to my hair. Other than that, at this point, just let your hair dry all the way before you go to bed. If you're doing this and you have to go to bed right away, just make sure, like normal, that you dry it completely. And then you're going to sleep like normal. You want to continue to protect your hair. We don't have any products in it to protect it. So silk pillowcase, bonnet, whatever works for you. I would suggest just following your same normal routine for bedtime. That being said, I actually really like the way that this turned out without any product. I might have to do this more often. But I will check back in the morning. We will pick some products and we will go from there. We're on to day 2 now, so we can go ahead and move on to our style later section of this video. My daughter is down for nap, so I now have about an hour in which to take care of styling my hair. I did forget to mention this last night, so just in case you are curious, for my wash, my shampoo and conditioner, I just use the Shea Moisture Purple Rice Water line. This is still my naked hair. I haven't done anything with it yet other than I put it up in a pineapple and a bonnet before bed last night. So now we can go in and we can kind of feel it, and it's obviously completely dry now, and we can see kind of what it needs. And the more often you do this, the more you'll kind of start to realize what your hair should feel like and what it does need. For me personally, I feel like I need a lot of moisture right now. In fact, I probably should have done a deep conditioning treatment last night, but now I know that my hair needs it and I can do it next time. That being said, I am going to go ahead and move on with this process. I'll wet my hair and come back to show you kind of what I do for styling. The only thing of note is you just want to make sure that you get everywhere wet. Especially for me at the roots, tends to be an issue up on top here. And if we want any volume in our hair, we need to make sure that we get the top wet so that we can work with it and get it to do what we want. That being said, I'm gonna wet my hair and I'll be right back. All right, my hair is really wet now. I just dunked it under the shower head really quickly. For me, whenever I do this technique, a lot of the times the biggest thing I struggle with is that now my hair is tangled. Typically I detangle in the shower with conditioner, but if you do it this way now, I have tangled hair. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to find a product with slip. Sometimes you can just go in with a gel that has a lot of slip. So the gel I'll be using for this routine that I've picked out does actually have some slip to it. But for me, I'm going in with a leave-in conditioner that I know has a decent amount of slip in it. That's the one I showed earlier, the As I Am conditioner. And I'm just going to apply this to my hair in 2 sections. Another option, if you did want to do it this way, is you could dry detangle and just make sure to be very gentle with it. For the most part, it's not really too bad because I did detangle it last night. It's not super knotted. I can work my fingers through those knots very easily. And if this is something that you are struggling with, you're just really struggling with the knots and tangles in your hair, 1, that's definitely a sign that you need moisture. But 2, you can go in with some sort of detangling brush to really just make sure you work all of those knots and tangles out. And this will also just help smooth your hair out as well so that we don't have as many frizzies. If your whole goal behind this is to make sure that the whole process is more quick than normal, you could use a similar routine to the one that I used in my last video. Otherwise, just follow your normal routine at this point, styling as you normally would and drying like you normally would as well. Whatever works best for you at this point, whatever it is you need. This is a very versatile concept. For me personally, I'm going to be using a routine similar to the one in the last video just because I really liked the way that that worked for me. And I will also be diffusing my hair. Let me show you really quick here what products I'm going to be using. I'm going to be going in with my Trelux Curl Supreme 4-in-1 Hydrating Cream. And then I'll be following that up with my Trelux High Definition Curl Enhancer Styling Gel. I am just going to blaze through this process, so I will be back in just a few seconds to show you my final results. These are my final results. After doing the wash now, style later routine, my results really aren't that different than a normal result. I do really like that I was able to check my hair to see what kind of styling products I needed before moving on to my next step. Hopefully that will help you diagnose your hair, get to know your hair a little bit better so that you can read its needs and maybe start to help move you through that transition process faster. Or maybe you feel like you should be through your transition process, but you're really just struggling. This might be the last thing that you need that really will help you to discover what it is your hair needs. And in addition to that, I really do hope that this helped somebody out there who is struggling with anxiety around their hair, struggling with the stress of the long process that it takes to wash and style your hair, helps convince you just wash it. At least get that process started. Reframing things in your mind can be so helpful when you are struggling with that kind of a stress. You don't even have to style it later if you don't want to, if you ever get to the next one. If you don't get to the next one either, that's completely fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we just need a little bit of time to get ourselves back to normal before we can get back on our hair routine. So if you're at least washing now, you don't necessarily even need to style later. The other way I do find this really helpful though is if I do have an event coming up. So if I'm going to a wedding, if I'm going to some sort of party, not that those are really happening much anymore, but once they start to hopefully happen again, this gives you the chance to wash your hair whenever you need to and not keep pushing it out, but then feel stressed the day before the event or the morning of the event that you have to do it all at once. This is a little bit of a quicker process. For me personally, just washing and conditioning my hair can take up to 20 minutes because I tend to do the rest of my just shower routine at the same time. So that cuts out 20 minutes of my styling process. Now I have more time to focus on drying my hair, diagnosing it, picking products, styling it, things like that. Let me know down in the comments below, have you heard of this technique before? Have you done this before? Have you noticed any differences for yourself? I know for me, my hair is pretty much, it's about the same as it normally is when I style it. There's not really that much difference. I know I have heard some people say that this gives them more volume. I might have maybe a little bit more volume, but it's not really a ton. So Does this give you more volume? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. If you like content like this, like and subscribe. I post a new video every Tuesday, product reviews, styling techniques, all sorts of things wavy and curly hair related. If you have any topics that you are interested in hearing about, let me know again down in the comments below. I do want to make a short side note here for anybody who watches all of my videos. I probably will not be posting for the next few weeks. I will be moving in 2 weeks and I am not prepared for it. I have so much to do, so I will be taking a short hiatus on videos up until the point that I am done moving. So hopefully next time you see me, I will be in my new house in a new bathroom. But until then, hopefully I will see you next time. Well, there's a few reasons that you might want to that you might want. You're funny. Please don't do that. Oh, there's still water in there.